Hey everyone, Tyler here at The Movie Beat. Welcome back to another Korean movie review. Very excited to bring you this one today as it's one of my favorite Korean movies. It's called A Moment to Remember. And before I get into the review, I just want to take a couple notes. I think I've mentioned a lot on this channel about like action noir and crime film genre. And I do feel like as those films like The Man from Nowhere and The New World have helped to really expand the reach of Korean cinema around the world, I think there's quite a few people that look at those types of films and say, you know, that's sort of the signature Korean genre, look and feel. But a lot of us, on the other hand, I feel like we've been around Korean cinema for quite some time. We would argue that the melodrama is actually the OG Korean signature genre, and maybe its most perfected. And in 2004, director John H. Lee, who later went on to do movies like 71 Into the Fire and Operation Chromite, struck gold when he brought together two of the rising and hottest Korean stars of the time, Jung Woo-sung and Son Ye-jin, for his devastating melodrama for the ages, A Moment to Remember. Now this is the CJ Entertainment limited edition Blu-ray. I'll show you this at the end. I do want to talk about the edition a little bit, so stay tuned for that, please. Let's get into this review. Soo-jin, played by Son Ye-jin, is stood up by her married boyfriend and colleague at a train station one day after having planned to run away together. Dejected and embarrassed, she attempts to move on with her life now and returns to living with her family and working as a fashion designer. After a few chance encounters with a man named Chol-soo, played by Jung Woo-sung, a foreman from her father's construction business, the two almost instantly hit it off and begin a new life together as a happy young couple. But when Soo-jin's forgetfulness grows concerning beyond being just a bad habit, she visits a doctor only to discover she has a severe case of early onset Alzheimer's disease. This throws the couple's bright future into turmoil as Soo-jin's condition takes a turn for the worse. Now, A Moment to Remember has, for my money, one of the best opening, character-establishing 30 to 40 minutes out there. Both leads have their special quirks and charms introduced with some hilarious first encounters that make really great use of the environment and other props. So by the time they become a couple, it's so enjoyable just to watch them navigating the challenges and obstacles of cohabitation and career advancement. This is the enjoyment period of the film, and it's this first part of the movie, this opening, that I believe is one of the key reasons why A Moment to Remember works so well. It's because these scenes, the characters are really building upon this scaffolding of the relationship, and it's one that the viewers really invest in because it's just so well done. And that investment makes the second half, when Soo-jin's memory starts to go, all the more devastating because we're watching this awesome relationship crumble before our eyes. And it's with the disease in the second half of the film that really examines that deconstruction of the relationship, and all efforts are being put towards reinforcing that scaffolding, trying to save what can be saved, despite just how strong that virus, the disease is. So it's a really tough watch, the second half, but so worth it for the real valuable lasting impression that it makes on you in the end. Now, as of 2020, actors Son Ye-jin and Jung Woo-sung have built incredible, very well-established careers in Korean cinema and television. They probably have well over 40 plus combined movies. They're loved by critics and audience alike. Unfortunately, I haven't seen all of their work. I'm getting there, but for now, A Moment to Remember is my favorite of both of their work, and by quite a bit. The classic is either a tie or a close second for Son Ye-jin's movies. It's going to take a lot to beat this one. And this is, I think, because this movie is so well written. The characters are so well written that both actors have so much to work with in this movie, and you get to really see an incredible range from both of them. Son Ye-jin is a joy to watch and radiates with her signature charm in every scene as the film builds towards its heart-wrenching twist. And from then on, she'll have you in tears every sad and frightening step into the unknown as her character's memory fades. Jung Woo-sung gives a similarly all-encompassing performance as this blunt carpenter named Cho-soo, who has a lot of anger and resentment issues. And the transformation Jung undergoes as his character moves towards a more sensitive and devoted husband role is one of the most moving character performances I think I've ever seen. Now, there have been many powerful films about Alzheimer's disease and the effects that it has on individuals and their loved ones. Movies like Still Alice, there's another Korean film named Poetry, and the Japanese film Memories of Tomorrow, I think, are some of the best, but none of them have left as strong of an emotional response on me as A Moment to Remember did. And I think that's really because the movie works so well with its simple but honest examination of how we manage and endure love, loss, forgiveness, and attempt to move forward despite all of these setbacks in life. Now, the loss of memory itself probably has to be one of the scariest things imaginable, and just how that would attack your sense of self, and just how it affects other people who care about you. Very scary. And while it's very unlikely to probably happen to someone who's young, there's nothing like coming out of a movie and taking a big breath of fresh air, finding either reinforced or newfound motivations to live your life. And that's sort of what A Moment to Remember does for me with every viewing. It makes me just try to stay more present in positive moments in life and really to appreciate them for all that they're worth. That's why I want to rate A Moment to Remember. Here we're going to start a little point here. The theatrical cut, I'm going to rate Moment to Remember a 9.5 out of 10. And the director's cut, I'm going to rate a 9 out of 10. And I'm going to tell you why for that right now. Alright, so it is worth noting that there are two cuts to this film. There's a director's cut that runs 144 minutes, and a theatrical cut that clocks in at like 117. So I think you're going to feel those extra 27 minutes when you're watching the director's cut. Not in a terrible way, but maybe a little bit unnecessary, as the director's cut, it's been a while since I've seen the theatrical cut, but so forgive me if I mess this up a little bit, but I believe the director's cut spends a little bit unnecessary time or extra time going into the character Cho-soo, played by Jung Woo-sung, his family history, as well as Soo-jin, who's played by Son Ye-jin, goes into some of her previous relationship a little bit more in depth in the director's cut. Now, while this is really nice to create that extra sort of dimensionality with these characters, especially ones that care about so much and we invest in a lot, if you really like the movie, it's kind of worth just seeing, just to have that in your mind. But I do feel like for repeat viewings, the theatrical cut is the way to go, because it doesn't cut out, it's not missing any of the important, really emotional scenes, and I don't think those extra scenes add to the emotional impact that much. So if it is going to save some time, and you can kind of get it all in a nicer bundle, a little more compact bundle, it makes me prefer the theatrical cut. Unfortunately, the director's cut, the remastered director's cut, is probably the most widely available version of the film that you can have in HD, and that's the one that I have on Blu-ray. This is the CJ Entertainment Limited Edition Digipack Director's Cut Remastered Edition. It's number 13 in the collection, so it's an older one, and it's going to be a little bit harder to track down. But it is, if you want a physical copy, probably the nicest way that you can own it. So gotta recommend it there. The only way you guys can get the theatrical cut that I know of would be a much older Blu-ray, if there is one, but it definitely exists on DVD, and I have the old DVD limited edition that has the director's cut and the theatrical cut. I really wish the theatrical cut was included on the Blu-ray, but can't have everything. Maybe in the future we'll get another re-release of some sorts. But that's going to be it for this one. Please let me know your thoughts on the movie below. Like I said, it's one of my favorites, and I was really happy to finally get to share it with you guys. So until next time, I'm Tyler at The Movie Beat. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe, and lets me know sort of the direction that we want to take this channel moving forward. So until next time, keep watching movies.